How has LLinusLLove been crushing the games over the last few years? Everyone has had access to solvers for years. The games are tougher than they've ever been before. So how has he managed to have a graph like this on High Stakes DB, as well as a bunch of untracked winnings as well, when in a time period where other top players have fewer leaks than ever before? Is he just executing GTA strategies much better than his opponents are? Is he just an exploitative player who's found a few ways to exploit the games that he's playing in? Or is it some sort of mixture of the two? Well, I'm Alex Miller, aka Carnu7, and on Monday 13th of January, so just a few days after I'm releasing this video, I'm going to be releasing my Advanced Cash Game Strategies course on upswingpoker.com. Not only am I going to be doing that, but I'm also going to be releasing a short course which is going to provide a definitive answer to these questions. Through a detailed study of how Linus plays in single race pots when he is in position versus the big blind, I'm going to be revealing how to build your game to maximise the win rate that you have in the games that you play. So as a teaser for those of you who are interested in buying the course, and also to provide a peek at the answer to these questions for those of you for whom the course is sort of out of your price range, then I'm going to show you a couple of clips from the course to give you an idea of what to expect. And remember, for the first week that my Advanced Cash Game Strategy course is on sale, you're going to get this course for free. So after the first week, it's not going to be free, but in the first week, it will be free. And I think people who do get it are going to be thinking they got absolutely insane value. So definitely check it out. So let's get into it. I start by looking at how Linus is playing on different flop textures. And this clip from the course should be covering a topic that's pretty familiar for those of you who've watched the other free content that I put out. So enjoy. So let's start by looking at monotone flops. And I'm doing this mostly because the sort of free content that I put out before the course was looking at monotone flops. So, you know, if Linus is playing totally differently to what I recommended there, then that's going to hurt my credibility somewhat, I guess, given that he's the best player in the world. But let's have a look at what he's doing. So here we've currently got the older hand. So we're going to see how he used to be playing on monotone flops. So we go to board texture filters. And then we're going to have when the flop is monotone. So add that in there and press OK. So we've got a sample of 510 hands here. That's plenty to get a rough idea of what his c-betting strategies were. And you can see that he's c-betting 72.4% of the time. So that's actually quite a lot more than I was recommending in my videos that I put out, the free content. I was saying betting about half the time for about third pot or so as a strategy here. And we've actually, if we go across, we can see, so he's betting about 72% of the time. And also, when we look at the sizings he's using under half pot 60% of the time, but he's also using half pot 34% of the time, and even some bigger sizings. So he's not actually playing very similarly at all to what I've put out in the free videos. But fortunately, if we go to his hands in the last 2 years, from January 2018 onwards, we can see that his flop c-bet now has gone down to 59.9%, so about 60% flop c-bet. And also we can go across and see his sizings, and he's betting 93% of the time for less than half pot. And we actually, if we were to filter even more, I won't bother doing it now in the video, it takes a bit of time, but filter, actually I will, it doesn't take that much time. So let's go to filters here, and for when he has bet the flop, so advanced action filters, flop actions, bet. So bet any, I guess. Yep. So we see we've got 85 examples here of when he has bet the flop on these monotone flops. And if we go again into filters and see bet size filters, flop made c-bet size is between 20 and 30% of pot. Then press OK here. You can see we've got 77 examples. So actually 77 times out of the 85 times that he's c-bet on a monotone flop since the start of January 2018 in the sample I've gotten him, then he's been betting between 20 and 30% pot. So actually betting much, much smaller than he was a couple of years ago. So actually, it's really good to see that this is something that Linus himself has worked on in the last few years, to change his strategies from how he was playing, which was quite far from the GTA strategies that I was recommending in the videos I've been putting out. And he's actually changed that to something very similar to what I've been putting out. He's actually, in fact, I'm not going to look into this now, but the bigger bets he's been using have all been against small blind, because I don't think it's possible to filter for just against big blind here. So this is kind of against small blind and big blind. Obviously, most hands are against big blind because you get flattered by the big blind much more often than small blind. But yeah, the bigger bets are against the small blind, and then also a couple of on 3 Broadway flops. He's decided to go a bit bigger there as well, like literally 2 times. But yeah, pretty much button versus big blind, he is betting about a quarter pot or so. Varies a little bit in sizing, I guess, just not exactly sure what reason, but it might be 24% pot sometimes and 26% pot other times. But that's the sort of size that he's going for. And so I was recommending to bet, say, 50% of the time with a third pot sizing. He's going up to about 60% with quarter pot sizing. So putting in pretty much the same amount of money to the pot. And yeah, the difference in EV between those two strategies is going to be absolutely minuscule. Whether the slight difference in our conclusions comes from perhaps he's just looked at a small number of monotone flops and they happen to be ones which preferred quarter pot to third pot, or perhaps he hasn't even had both those sizings and has just gone for quarter pot, or perhaps his solvers just, with the EV being so similar, different solvers may come out with slightly different like best strategies, if you like. So yeah, lots of small things that could be that account for the like slightly smaller size but more often compared to what I've been working out. But yeah, like I say, the difference in EV is basically nothing, and both strategies can be absolutely fine. So do whichever you prefer. But yeah, so yeah, basically yeah, he's made big adjustments here in the last couple of years. He's moved from c-betting sort of 72% of the time with a range of sizes to betting 60% of the time with very small sizes on monotone flops. So this is clearly an area of his game that he's felt is worthwhile working on in the last couple of years, and therefore I definitely think it's going to be something that's worthwhile all of you guys working on too, and making sure that you're c-betting the right sort of frequencies and sizings on this flop type. Okay, we're back. So we see Linus moving towards GTA strategies in the monotone flops when c-betting, and in the course I also take a look at all the other sort of different flop types that you can get and see how his strategy's changed over the last few years. And now I'm going to show you a quick clip of the conclusions to the sort of flop section to the Linus course. What we've learned from this, first of all, it's good to see that Linus's idea of c-betting strategies is pretty aligned with what I've been teaching in my course. I kind of done this whole course, spent a huge amount of time on it. Would have been a little bit sad if I'd just come across the fact that Linus had found some much better way to play than I was playing, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be that he's playing pretty good in terms of GTA strategies and pretty similar to what I've been teaching in my other course. And yeah, great, that's great news. Secondly, the fact that he's been changing his strategies over the last few years to get closer to that is a really good sign, I think. Shows that this is not something that everyone knew 5 years ago. This is something that the best player in the world has been working on in the last few years. So yeah, I think for people playing a little bit lower particularly, then I imagine this is something where there's going to be a lot of value for you in, first of all, looking at how Linus plays, and then if you are purchasing the main course, then hopefully you'll learn a lot from that as well. So yeah, both of those are good. Finally, it seems that Linus has been, he's, like I say, been moving his strategies closer to GTO over the last few years, and he's playing a very solid game when it comes to c-betting the flop. Or is he? Because I'm going to put it to you over the next few videos that actually he's just done an incredibly good job of selling this story, and actually he's exploiting the games that he's playing in quite subtle but sometimes quite brutal ways, and he's doing that very impressively. So in the next video, I'm going to start looking at his game after he checks back the flop, and we're going to start seeing that perhaps all is not quite as it seems from the video so far. So I shall see you for that. So that's it for this video. For those of you who aren't going to buy the course, I hope you take from this video the importance of both learning GTA strategies and also learning how to exploit the opponents that you have in your games. Spending time on both of those aspects of poker has always been the best way to improve your game and take it to the next level, and that remains true even though the games are tougher than they used to be. People still have plenty of leaks. For those of you who are considering buying the course, I'll be going through a lot of detail about how Linus has been successfully exploiting the high stakes games. So if you play in those games, you're definitely going to want to check this out. But the methods of exploiting the games you play in that I cover in the course are relevant no matter what stakes you play. I think if you take what you learn in this course and put in the effort required, then this will be quite a step change in sort of how you're able to exploit. And if you manage to do it successfully, I think you're going to have a lot of success at the tables. So I'll finish with one last reminder that the course comes on sale Monday, January the 13th, and you'll get it free if you buy my advanced cash game strategy course, which comes out on the same date. So if you buy the advanced cash game strategy course in the first week, then you will get this course for free. So yeah, best of luck, everyone. And if you do buy my courses, I'll look forward to speaking to you in the dedicated Facebook group for the course. And there I'll be able to chat and answer any questions you might have on the course. So bye for now.